Hello Gates. She wasn't just playing a happy-go-lucky girl on screen. At 14 she was already trapped in a life that would nearly destroy her. Hayley Mills soared to fame with Pollyanna and The Parent Trap, yet behind the smiles was a terrified young actress, tormented by the image she couldn't escape, haunted by the money she never got to keep, and fighting an eating disorder in secret. The very success that made her a star almost cost her everything. Today you'll witness how a childhood of applause turned into an adulthood of anguish and how she pulled herself back from the edge. Stay with me, because you'll see how the girl who everyone adored found out that sometimes what you look like matters more than who you are. And trust me, you won't want to miss what happened when the money vanished and the mirror lied. Coming up, the moment when Hayley realized the fairy tale was just an illusion and how she refused to let it define her. Hayley was a child sensation. At age 14 she won a juvenile Oscar for Pollyanna. The world loved her brightness, her wholesome charm. But all that adoration came with a price. She was boxed into being forever little and childlike. According to her memoir, she struggled with bulimia because she felt the industry, and the world, demanded that perpetual innocence. She said, "I never saw it. I knew it was there and one day I would have it, but then one day the dream was gone." Imagine being applauded for being yourself, but only if you stay yourself, unchanged, forever young. That was the trap. Here's a shocking fact: by the time Hayley turned 21, she realized that much of her earnings as a star had been swallowed by taxes, legal issues, and broken contracts. She lost roughly the equivalent of $17 million. She says the lawyer told her, "Well, my dear, basically, the revenue have attacked your trust company." Picture working for years and then discovering that you've earned big, but you almost don't own it. She felt cheated, abandoned by the business she trusted. The image of the smiling child star shielded a hidden financial collapse. It added a layer of betrayal to the pressure. The glamour faded, the roles dried up, and Hayley found herself fighting a much tougher battle against herself. She reveals she struggled with bulimia, trying to hold on to the look that made her famous even when she was no longer a child. She said she had to take care of myself when preparing for motherhood, and that gave her the strength to stop. But until then, the constant demand to remain a certain way weighed her down. She admitted, "I didn't really know who I was." That statement might shock you because we think child stars grow up to be successful adults. In her case, growing up threatened everything. There was also real jealousy. She admitted being very jealous of her body double in The Parent Trap because the double had longer legs and appeared more glamorous. So even in the costume of success she felt inferior. That hidden bitterness is often invisible to the public, but it shaped Hayley's emotional world. So how did Hayley turn it around? First, by acknowledging the mess. Writing her memoir allowed her to admit the bulimia, the financial loss, the identity crisis. She said, "The more I wrote this book, the more I realized I was talking about everybody's struggle to grow up." Next, she shifted her relationship with fame and image. She accepted that she couldn't always be the girl next door teen star, and that was okay. She focused on roles on her terms. It took courage, because letting go meant losing what had once defined her. Finally, she found peace in other areas: her partner, her grandchildren, and stepped into a version of herself free from the Disney saccharine label. She's not just the child star anymore. The cost was high, but survival was worth it. Hayley Mills' story reminds us, what glitters isn't always golden. Child stardom, early success, millions in the bank, they can mask deep wounds. She didn't hate someone more than anyone, but she felt trapped by fame, by expectation, by a world that wanted a picture-perfect child when the real person inside was desperately trying to become an adult. The question is, what do you hold on to because people expect you to? The roles you play for others, the image you maintain, the approval you chase? And how might letting go of those roles be the key to finding yourself? If Hayley's journey does one thing, it shows that survival is possible even when the dream turns into a cage. If you're curious, check her memoir Forever Young and see how a star learned to live, not just perform. And when you think someone has it all, remember, what's unseen matters just as much.